And now we are coming to the end part of our conference and to the wrap-up of what we have learned today, and for what does it mean for our further cooperations within the network of the Jena Declaration, and how we can think of joy as something we can use and something we can highlight when we try to get the importance for sustainable, which is deeply needed in society and politics. So we have a few statements from our ambassadors and also a statement from our project partner from the US. And now we start with a video statement from Delvin Langdon and Jodie O'Sullivan. Both are sustainability consultants from Australia, and they prepared a video statement. And yes, so thank you very much, and we start with it.
So welcome to our video chat. Where we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of localising the SDGs in our part of the world, and specifically in education. I'm Joanne Langdon, so I've spent 25 years in the sustainability sector, 22 years in an Australian university, and specifically community engagement. I've had lots of career highlights, but I will touch on a couple here. One is probably one of the main ones I love, which is collaborating with sustainability champions in Australia and around the world who have been mentors to me, and I like to think I can pay it forward and be mentors to other people. We learn every day from these early adopters and our forward-thinking innovators. I'm a climate reality leader for Al Gore's Climate Reality program, which I did in 2007. I was co-founded Australasian Campuses Towards Sustainability in 2006 with a dedicated group of people from various universities, and now is the peak association for embedding universities, sustainability into universities and colleges in Australia, New Zealand, and is recognised around the world. So that's something all of us are proud of. And recently, I'm on the Sustainability Committee for the 2032 Sunshine Coast Olympic and Paralympic Task Force. So, Jodie, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Joanne, thank you for that. Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Jodie O'Sullivan, and I'm a passionate marketing communications specialist who is committed to futures-focused education, innovation and entrepreneurship, and industry and community connectivity. I've spent over a decade working across the education sector, predominantly in marketing and events and public relation roles, and I've also been a key contributor to a research action group which looked at the future jobs and what does that entail for our students, given it's a rapidly changing and evolving world. So how can we equip them with the relevant skill sets, the mindset, and also the attitude that will really help them thrive moving forward?
Now, as I said before, we'd really like to we've only got 6 minutes, so we'd really probably thought it would best to concentrate a little bit on education, and specifically in Jodie's role. Now, as someone that worked for a university, university's been adopting the SDGs for quite a while, and now they have the Times Higher Education World Impact Rating System, so that allows universities to measure their SDG progress and obviously rate themselves against other universities around the world. But Jodie, what I'm really interested in is actually the advantages of integrating the SDGs into primary and secondary school education, which is not something that is widely used here in Australia.
No, well, I think it's paramount, Darwin. And just to give you a little bit of background information. So I came across the SDGs when I was looking at the best way to align a pilot project to curriculum, but also how could we increase our sustainability impact, not just within our own internal community, but our neighbouring community as well. How could we best impact our space and our place? So I think that really incorporating the SDGs into the primary and the secondary education sector, it is really important, and I believe that the partnerships and innovation and empowering our young people to really get involved is what will really make the difference to building healthy, sustainable and vibrant communities. So the SDGs give us a global blueprint. It's like a call to action for creating a world that's more inclusive, it's more equitable, and of course it's more sustainable. Embedding the SDGs into curriculum, it's not just about raising awareness, it's actually empowering and activating our students to make a difference, to give them a voice. And it's all about teaching them to think critically, to act ethically, to innovate boldly, and understand that their everyday decisions and their actions really do have an impact on people and on the planet. So I think, Joanne, if we get this right, it's not just about global citizens. It's really giving young people a far deeper understanding and appreciation of what global citizenship really is. So we should be looking to have our young people as the leaders, as the innovators, and as the next generation who really will transform the world around them.
And how they can take that global citizenship back into their local communities. That mindset. Okay. As we know, partnerships can significantly advance the SDGs globally and locally by fostering collaboration amongst various stakeholders, including businesses, government, agencies, NGOs and communities. Now, Jodie, I know that you're a huge advocate for partnerships, so can you share your thoughts on why you believe Goal 17 is crucial in achieving the SDGs, particularly in your education?
Yes, thanks, Darwin. Well, goal number 17, it definitely is my favourite goal. No one sector can solve these global challenges alone. Partnerships allow for the co-design, the collaboration, the combining of ideas, different perspectives, different experiences, age levels, and most importantly, that collective intelligence that we can all gain by sitting around the table, working together and collaborating together. Trust and a shared sense of purpose is really, really critical, and also building that ecosystem, not working in silos. So true sustainability comes from collaboration at every level across every sector.
And may I add that these opportunities to connect and partner on specific projects like we have done can lead to a much longer partnership in ways that are only identified when we do work together for a common goal. Now, I was very honoured to be to connect with Professor Dr. Benno Werlen last year. Our conversation led to an invitation to become an ambassador for the Gender Declaration, a role I'm very invested in, and it's so wonderful to see these principles where the SDGs are recognised at a local level to help us create the guidelines that we need to have. And so I suggested that Jodie become an ambassador, as her exceptional skills actually complement what I do. So, and Benno thankfully agreed. So we have a shared value and a belief system which aligns perfectly with the 6 principles of the Gender Declaration. And our discussions now centre around collective ideas to localise the SDGs and align with the Gender Declaration, and identifying potential partners for the Gender Declaration and encourage organisations and individuals to become signatories. Would you like to add anything else in regards to the Gender Declaration?
Oh, well, thank you very much, Darwin, and thank you very much, Benno. I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to contribute to this global ecosystem and really encourage and inspire and empower others to get on board and really make a difference in their local communities.
Well, that's nearly our time up. In fact, I think I've gone a little bit over, sorry Martin. But for us, the Gender Declaration provides Jodie and myself that perfect platform to assist in raising the awareness, as we've just mentioned, in our respected communities and respective communities, and combining our skills, experience, networks to advance the SDGs. at a local level. We'd like to thank Bono and Martin for this invitation and allowing us to be part of this conference, and we hope the discussion has helped you get to know us a little bit better, and we look forward to engaging and working with you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this was very interesting and enriching for our perspective. Our next ambassador, Anand Rad from India, is unfortunately not available due to his ministerial obligations. So therefore we are now going forward to Rita Oyoku. She is our ambassador from Nigeria. And Rita, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so thank you very much for your participation, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Rita Oyoku. I am the ambassador for Gender Declaration, one of the greatest platforms on earth when it comes to sustainable development goals. Gender Declaration is a platform where reality is fulfilled under the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you. We might not have all the wealth to offer to leaders, to governments, to citizens globally, but we have the wisdom to make your desired vision and purpose under the 17 Sustainable Development Goals come to pass. I would say the world today needs solidarity and more sustainable solutions. Because what we face today, a lot of challenges, they are all still as old as mankind without solutions. Like illegal migration is as old as mankind, climate crisis, conflict, and more without solutions. So this joyful platform called the Gender Declaration under the Sustainable Development Goals is being human first. We work with all sectors, from government, leaders. We work with government. We do not work for government. Why we choose to work with government and people all over the world? Because of different policies around the world globally. Each time a leader comes in different policies and different topic, different things. These are the things that affect the world today. That's why we're still where we are today without solutions. Because if we're moving forward, a different leader is in power and change different policies regarding the climate, the problem we have in the world that is affecting the 17 Sustainable Development Goals today. That's why we're not moving forward from where we are. So also, I want to also use this opportunity to talk about my upcoming event, which is on illegal migration. Like I said earlier, as we all know, migration is as old as mankind without solution. The event is called Universal Elite Citizen. It's going to be a yearly program, and we're going to have it in Africa for the first time. We need everyone to be human first regarding this event. And we also need our mothers and women all over the world. Because when we lose our children, we feel the greater pains more. The sea is not for dying. In search of greener pastures, we lost children all over the world. So we call our mothers together to participate in this great event coming up before the end of this year. I want to also use this great opportunity to thank Professor Beno, the Club of Rome, and all the co-initiators of the greatest platform on earth, the Gender Declaration, where we stand to, we put humanity first, we put citizens first to enable us achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. I think I don't really talk much. I just try to give out the solutions, because without you being human first, you cannot achieve anything. That's why we have the greatest platform on earth, the General Declaration. Thank you.
Yeah, Rita, thank you very much, and thank you very much for your engagement. And I would directly hand over to Peter Neill and Trisha Badger from the World Ocean Observatory. The World Ocean Observatory is an NGO and project partner of the Jena Declaration, founded by Peter Neill. And they are caring about the ocean, and especially about ocean literacy and ocean education. Because the ocean is not something that with only importance for coastal regions, for example, but with a huge importance for everyone, because the ocean is a network that connects us all, and the sustainability of the ocean is of huge importance to reach a sustainable and joyful life. So, Peter Neill, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So thank you very much, and the floor is yours.
Well, I was highly motivated, since I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, staring at just the screen and listening to all these presentations. It's been fascinating. If I ever had any doubt about alliance between the Jena Declaration and World Ocean Observatory, this has certainly reassured me. I was drawn to their approach by virtue of its opposition to the normal, which is a kind of approach that is dictated by the UN and various structures and behaviors that, by their own estimation, at this point have not done a good job at essentially dealing with the major challenges, natural challenges, climate, for example, now characterized by the Secretary General as too little, too late. I just read a report this morning from a forthcoming meeting planning for the World Ocean Forum in Nice, in France, and the essential question of what's next and how do we do it differently remains unanswered. So I think that what we have been part of this morning is very much an answer. It has been a joyful experience to listen to your presentations today and to understand the many ways we can contextualize conservation sustainability with joy through action and cultural revitalization, arts and humanities, relation to personal well-being and community transformation, therapeutic approaches within families, even nation states, and the unity of these perspectives as a moral dimension through rationalism, emotion, behavior, and change. It's essential to understand the process of advocacy and transformation as a process of personal and collective fulfillment and of self-realization and the communal outcome of joyful engagement. That the Jena Declaration would dedicate a conference to this understanding is further demonstration of its unique approach to the coming together, as we have done today, of innovative ideas generated not as policy or didact imposed top-down from authority above and away, but as motivated from the innumerable manifestations worldwide from the bottom up that are at one with nature, from which such ideas and ourselves are sprung. In my view, that nature is oceanic. The ocean as natural process interconnected at every level of social, financial, and political enterprise from all time is the focus for survival, and in that fact, the penultimate source for joy. If we despoil it, we demean ourselves. If we subvert its wisdom, we drown in our ignorance. Why would we choose such a plan? Why would we not pursue the fulsome advantage of its gifts of sustaining water, food, energy, exchange, solace, and nurturing solution? The ocean gives us so much, The projects described here by you today are evidence of diverse ingenuity, to be sure, but also of something much larger, of universal reciprocity, of our giving back with all the satisfaction derived from sustaining the commonality and generosity of nature. The ocean, as a locus for joy, connects all things. The World Ocean Observatory is grateful to be your partner. I give you joy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Peter. That was a fantastic final statement. Joanne, are you still there? Joanne?
I just have to unmute. Yes, indeed, I'm still here.
Okay, wonderful.
I was very inspired by Peter's comments. Yeah.
Joanne, would you start with your impressions of the whole day? I think we can continue for another 5 minutes or so, but a wrap up. Sure. What for you the most interesting or most touching or the most notable parts of the various statements we have could listen to and watching to?
Well, there's so much I could say, but I can be brief. If you would like me to say a few things in conclusion of this wonderful day. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Go ahead, and then I will put my
okay.
additional maybe thoughts on the other one at the end. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, there's so much to say, Benno. So if I go past 4 minutes, cut me off.
Okay, I do that.
I'll be brief. I'm very capable of doing it. I think this morning I summed up what I had to say about the morning, and then coming back for the second and third parts of the program were so inspiring the whole day. And I so agree with Peter from the World Ocean Observatory. It was an uplifting conference. And this is what we need. And it's putting this element of joy into our work on sustainability that I think does lead us to being uplifted and encouraged to go forward, not put down by setbacks when we focus too much on the work of policy and rulemaking. That it's really up to us, people in all walks of life, to lead this movement forward and to arrive at the transformation that's needed. And we had so many positive expressions of how to do that today through creativity in the art. Just a few that I'll mention. Beyond those that we discussed this morning, creativity that came through as creativity, engagement, interconnectedness. These were repeated this afternoon when we spoke about meditation and the benefits. Again, that theme of interconnectedness from India's largest environmental organization. How wonderful to be led through that pause. Maybe we can take a lesson from that. The 10-minute pause, a quiet moment, and thinking with gratitude about what nature brings us and how we fit into it. I like the question that was posed by several people this afternoon that said, we know what to do. We know what to do as individuals. We know what to do collectively. We just don't do it. And why is that? And so I think we have many ideas that were given to us today about that for inner sustainability and the behavioral shift that can come from mindfulness in each of us. We talked about culturalizing healthcare and how important that is, obviously, to bringing joy to these questions. Fundamentally, good health is the foundation of well-being. And some lessons we learned from those talk about bringing about positive health outcomes that support, for one, they have to be these interventions for health need to be culturally sensitive. Again and again, we return to this. They talked about inclusivity, having support from family and community, and the necessity in having good health, to feeling supported, whether physically or digitally. That support can come from many sources, and the feeling of not being alone, community mentorship, empowerment, and integrated care. All of these came forward as well. And then, of course, the session on indigenous communities and how important that is. I would say that we talked about the importance of recognizing, again, interconnectedness of humans to nature and what we can learn from indigenous communities about that, from and their passing of knowledge from one generation to the next, and that passage of knowledge which also leads to joy. And this in turn needs to be, I would say, must be respected. And I think that we could pause on that term of giving respect to indigenous knowledge both by policy and rule makers at every level, and how we've learned that failure to do so results in the kind of catastrophe described by Monsieur José in colonial India, and that continue, including, among others, anger, confusion, marginalization, all of these things that lead to poor management. Finally, the influence of Goethe shows the power of art. Again, we come back to this notion of the power of art on thought. I think that what I took away from part of that was that in order to attain the sustainable world that we all seek, we have to first be able to imagine it, to think it, to incorporate it into our philosophy, into our being. And it, as Goethe said in that analysis, the whole of the choir points to a secret law. I wish to happily hand you at once the disentangling word. Watch now and be transformed. I would say, may we all. I think what has come out of all these presentations and discussions is this: more or less what it will take for us to get it right. And because we can still get it right. I think that the joy that comes from living consciously our interconnectedness with the natural world is fundamentally the most important message to come out of the conference. And I'm sure we'll all take away from these many wonderful presentations and incorporate it into our work. I thank each of you. And of course, you, Professor Werlen and Martin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joanne. I think I don't have to add much to what you said. In fact, nothing. But I have to say something, so I will say another, add a couple of thoughts and maybe observations and reflections that have been stimulated by these many presentations. I will address the second last presentation, where it came out what happens if we don't take local competent agents serious. We will have opposition to something that is meant to be good in the interest of all, but done by so-called specialists from the center, not giving attention what traditional knowledge is in dealing with culture, making nature and making nature as a healthy basis of living. So we have to take the knowledge of everyday agents in all parts of the world serious. And we have to take that serious, that we need an access to their cultural world to respect that cultural worlds and use that insights for the benefit of all in that region and finally also globally. So in fact, that example is combined wonderfully with Reconnect with Culture, where children are having the opportunity to get in touch with the history of their place, what the people they are coming from did before they arrived on planet Earth, and how to give them access to drawings and to storytelling about local events in the past and so on. I think that's a wonderful access to valorize local knowledge in the cultural formation that is at hand. All the presentations taken together, I would say, what we saw is how important the concept in political science is called subsidiarity is. That means that people should be stimulated to engage for their own living conditions and not waiting until a government or a world government or national government is taken care of. And we have to reach that point, we have to take people serious in what they know, what they can, and to help them to implement that and give maybe also some support from scientific insights, or at least saying, okay, in general we know that things are this way, maybe we should take that in account, but not telling them from the beginning on that they nothing and that they are incompetent because they don't have a university degree or whatever. And I think the arts mentioned by Joanne is really an important point, because not only because they can add joy to what people are doing, but they can stimulate people to have a playful way to deal with sustainability issues and try and help to connect what we are seeing. Many people mentioned the necessity of solidarity, but to reach solidarity, it needs a trigger, and trigger could be joy to join some groups and to add, and maybe arts, singing and dancing and music and so on are ways of connecting people in a joyful way and make them think about certain things for a sustainable future. And so in this way we could maybe or hopefully reach a global movement of local agents. That would be the perfect way to reach sustainability in a cultural sustained way and in the joyful way. I'm convinced that only things that are making people happy are sustainable on the long term, and not repression and not legal obligations and legal pressure. That's, I think, we should take out of this, or can take of all these presentations, and I hope that we can continue, that's the plan, to continue that somehow horizon scanning of local competences in the next conference planned for mid-November on Africa, the African Vienna Declaration Conference. And we will have, as Rita mentioned it, also the plan to have a musical event on illegal migration, as she said, also hopefully before the end of the year. And there will be also an event on the 10th anniversary of the opening ceremony of the International Year of Global Understanding, that some was giving birth somehow to the Vienna Declaration a couple of years after the end of the International Year of Global Understanding 2016. So I think we have a couple of follow-up meetings and conferences, and if everything goes well, we also plan to install something like a Vienna Declaration channel. That means that we will produce possibilities for Vienna Declaration project partners to present themselves, to tell what they can offer, and to get a basis how these different project partners can connect among another, and to be a tool to bring this global movement of local competent agents forward. Thank you very much to all of you for participating today, especially Martin, of course, sitting next to me, who co-organized this thing together, but also all the presenters of the different sessions this morning. Joanne, who was giving us her night sleep, and of course,
Well worth it.
also Melba for her part, and so on. So thank you very much to all of you, and looking forward to the next meeting, and let's stay in touch and communicate how we can contribute to a joyful and happy future to as many people as possible on the planet. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.